Namaste, and welcome to another video. Today, I'm going to talk more about my own struggles with anxiety and how meditation and yoga really helped with that, and not focus so much on teaching you exactly what meditation is or the types of meditation. Just kind of focus on my own journey, and maybe that will help some of you guys understand what you're going through. So first, I just want to clarify that this is my personal journey, that this isn't me telling you how your journey should look or that these things will specifically work for you, but just who I am and what I did and how that helped me. So my whole life, I have been a super sensitive kid. I cried about everything. I had a really hard time adjusting in new situations, but once I did, I usually thrived. I always wanted to have connections with people. Friends were super important to me, but really hard for me to make those types of connections. I would always come home feeling lonely and just feeling like I wasn't connecting on a deep enough level with people around me. Obviously, when I was younger, I didn't really understand what this meant or the expectations of other kids maybe not being able to connect with me on that level because of our maturity or just where we're at in life. Kids don't generally have super deep connections. But as I got older, I felt like these connections just never stuck. And I don't know if that was me or if I just wasn't being social in the way that people need to be, but I just kind of felt lonely, and that increased that anxiety just because of that sensitivity and needing that connection. So my mind would second guess everything I was doing. I would feel anxious every time I was in social situations. I tried really hard to just start copying what other people did and just kind of started losing myself. I found that I'm really adaptable in terms of being able to fit into groups and just to kind of like find what people expect of me, but it doesn't really make for a super genuine connection with someone if I'm just connecting with them because I'm doing what they're doing. So in college, I actually started doing yoga because it was a class credit. So I was able to take classes and I always felt better, but I was just in such a deep state of anxiety and just kind of emotional distress that I usually just didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to leave my room. So I didn't really get like the full benefit that I could have from my yoga practice. As I got into grad school, I started learning more about mindfulness and calming the mind and refocusing, and I just didn't really think it was for me. My mind goes 100 miles an hour all the time, and I just accepted that that was my reality, that I couldn't calm my mind, that I couldn't sit still. And so I just ignored people's advice to try this mindfulness thing, to just try to sit still. I tried it once or twice, said, nah, that's not for me, and moved on. Well, after a while, when I graduated from grad school, I moved to Tucson, Arizona, and I just felt like I wasn't connecting with myself. I just wasn't grounded in anything. I was kind of floating, lost, and I just felt like I was losing myself. So I started to kind of be open to more options, and I started learning actually about Buddhism and learning about the Eightfold Path and learning rightness of mind and speech and actions and all of those things. And that kind of actually guided me into the direction of meditation and yoga and just connecting with myself on a deeper level, understanding my mind and connecting with a higher power. And so through this process, I kind of started meditating, reading a lot of books, listening to audiobooks, just kind of learning about things, not super sure if I was really into it or not, But as I started meditating, I really noticed that I was starting to feel more calm. I would become more centered, even if it wouldn't stick for very long, because I would just go right back to that bad habit of letting my mind control me. But as I learned that I can control my mind and that I have the freedom to be free of those crazy thoughts all the time, I really started to focus in on trying to make that better. So my practice involved just being really self-aware. I guess noticing when those thoughts were coming and why they were coming, how I was feeling, how my body was feeling, and then starting to take notice of when certain activities might trigger those things. So for me personally, I love watching Netflix and Hulu and just binge watching TV shows all day long. But as you can imagine, that's not super good for my mental health and anxiety, especially when I'm watching serial killer TV shows and murder mysteries all the time. So for me, I had to make that choice that I was going to cut off a lot of that type of TV shows and just streaming in general. So now I generally don't watch as much TV. I still watch from time to time, and I watch with my husband because it's a fun time to like cuddle and bond and whatnot, but generally I'm not going to watch a lot of TV anymore because I find that it is a trigger for my anxiety. It puts me in a bad mood, and all I want to do is just sit there and watch more. So I have started this YouTube channel. I have been working on my meditation practice, getting into yoga further and strengthening that process. And I actually just recently started doing an online teacher training for yoga. So even if I may not necessarily start actually teaching yoga right away, I just thought it was such a great way to deepen my own practice, to help understand where yoga comes from, and just to help understand myself a little bit further. And so that's basically where I'm at now, is I practice on my meditation rug, and I try to do my yoga every day and just really deepen my understanding of myself and continue to better myself through all of this. And it's really helped my anxiety because it's given me the power to understand that I'm in control, that my anxiety, my depression, sometimes they don't control me, and my mind doesn't control me. I control my mind. So even though sometimes I still spiral, I still have bad days, I'm able to acknowledge that and be okay with it because I'm not perfect, but also to continue to strive to get better control and better understanding of when those things happen and what's triggering them so that I can prevent it for the future. I hope this helped you guys a little bit and at least helped you understand me some more as I continue to post these videos and post about my own journey. If you want to hear about my teacher training or anything else that I'm doing, go ahead and comment below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and namaste.